So, here's the next question. Will we ever be able to visit a singularity and come back and tell people what it was like? Will we get to figure out exactly what a singularity looks like? No. It is physically impossible to visit a black hole and come back. If anybody decides to go inside the event horizon to study what it's like in there, nothing they learn can ever be communicated to us on the outside. We will never know what it looks like inside of the event horizon, because if you go in, you never get to tell anybody. Okay? Which is kind of disappointing. So yeah, hold those thoughts on time and past and future and all that. We're going to get to that kind of stuff in just a second. So hold that thought. Hold all those questions about time for now. We're not quite ready for that yet. Now, check this out. So you couldn't tell us about it. What if I shoved you towards the black hole? Like, what if this was me? What if this is me right here, and this is you? And I shoved you into towards the black hole so that you started to fall into it. I shoved you close enough that the gravity was able to start pulling you in. You're probably pretty mad at me right now. And because you don't have a rocket or anything, there's nothing you can do. You're just going to fall in. You're just going to fall in. You're just going to fall in. So you start texting me, okay? Like you get your phone out. And you're starting to text me. Okay? And you're like, no, I don't like this. And maybe at the same time, I don't know why, but I gave you a flashlight. So here's a flashlight. There we go. So that's your flashlight. And that's your cell phone. There you go. So you got a flashlight, you got a cell phone, and you got a frozen screen. So let's do that. There we go. And here we go. You decide to shine your light on me. It's like a really bright, blinding flashlight. So you decide, okay, shining that light. Here we go. We're making this guy too small. There we go. Here we go. Now, here we go. As you fall in, you fall back farther and farther and farther. Oh, wait, now I gave you 3 arms. Whatever. You got your cell phone, you got your flashlight. You're shining it back at me. When you go into the event horizon, when you're in here with your flashlight, will I still be able to see your flashlight? Would I still be able to see that flashlight when you go into the event horizon? You would not, I would not be able to see your flashlight anymore when you go through the event horizon. Because here's a super easy question. How fast does light go? How fast does light go? Think you guys can get that one. The speed of light. And if you're in here, we said you have to go faster than the speed of light to get away from the black hole. And here we go. Will the light be able to escape the event horizon? Yes or no? If light goes light speed, but if you're inside the event horizon, you have to go faster than the speed of light to escape, then no, the light can't get away. So what would happen is any light coming out of that flashlight still would actually turn around and the beam of light would fall into the black hole. The beam of light would fall into the black hole. So any light that's generated inside of the event horizon all falls into the black hole. That's really weird to think about. Light itself will fall into the black hole. So, can we see you or the black hole? Can we see the actual black hole at all? Is it possible to see a black hole? No. It is impossible to see a black hole. So technically, it's impossible to ever take a picture of a black hole. It's impossible to ever take a picture of a black hole because the black hole pulls all light towards it inside of the event horizon. So somebody asked me about this just a little while ago, and I kind of ignored the question. So yeah, what would the event horizon look like? What would the event horizon look like if light can't escape it? Okay. Careful. Light can't escape it, so the event horizon itself looks like nothing. Just a big black circle, because no light can escape it. The event horizon looks like a big black hole in space. That's one of the reasons it has that name. Does that make sense? So a black hole looks like nothing. That said, you probably saw that some people took a picture of a black hole last year, right? It was like a big news story. So technically they weren't taking a picture of the black hole itself. Whenever somebody takes a picture of a black hole, what you're actually seeing is stuff near it falling into it. So essentially, if there's material near the event horizon, you can, but not in it, you can see that stuff. And you can see that stuff orbiting around what looks like nothing, okay? But you cannot see the actual singularity itself, because the event horizon lets no light out. So technically, when they took a picture of the black hole, that's what they were taking a picture of, okay? Now, could you text us? Remember, I let you have your cell phone, right? I let you have your cell phone. So could you text us about how much you hate me for doing this? Like, as you get closer, you're like, whoa, this, blah, 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 I hate you so much. No, you can't. Even if somehow you are not dead, you would not be able to text us, because how do we send texts? How do we send texts out of our phone? How do we send texts out of our phone? By light. Right? A type of invisible light. So if you are right here inside the singularity, and you're trying to text me, what's going to happen to all of your texts you send out? What's going to happen to all of your texts? It's like right here, you just do boop, boop, boop. You make a text, you send it out of your phone. What's going to happen to that text? Nobody wants to answer this one because it's going to fall. The text itself, the signal you send out of your cell phone, will get pulled into the singularity. So any way you try to communicate with us out here, nothing comes out. No signals come out. So you can't even take a picture of it and send the picture out, because that signal will also fall into the black hole. Everything in here, in fact, has to go faster than the speed of light to not fall into the actual black hole. Yeah, you probably would have a hard time using it and being alive inside of that event horizon. Actually, it would be impossible to be alive inside of the event horizon. Let me just give you a couple of examples of why you wouldn't be able to be alive in the event horizon. Let's say you somehow had a body that could survive these extreme gravities without being crushed. Let's say you somehow were like a Superman, superhero type person, and you were somehow not dead from the gravity alone. You would die in the event horizon because everything in here can only go one direction, and that's towards the middle. The only direction things can move in here is towards the middle. And I'll answer this question. Is a black hole the only place light is not at? Technically, there's still light inside this event horizon. We just can't see it because it's not moving towards us. It's all moving inward. So there still can be light in here. It's just on its way to being crushed on the black hole. Now, like I said, in here, the only direction things can move is inward. And to be an alive person, your blood has to flow around your body. Check this out. Blood has to flow around your body. So let's make this a really big black hole so I can get inside the event horizon. If I'm in here, all of my blood, when it gets to this side of my body, would have to go faster than the speed of light to go back to the other side of my body. So what would happen to all of my blood? All of my blood would end up going to this side of my body, and then all of my organs would shut down. Because your circulation would have to go faster than the speed of light to complete. So if you could somehow survive to where you're getting inside the event horizon, your blood would stop working. But possibly even worse, in order to think, electricity has to flow back and forth in your brain. And of course, I'm simplifying this a lot. But if you were inside the event horizon, once all of the electricity in your brain made it to this side of your body, that electricity would have to go faster than the speed of light to get back to the other side of your brain. So what would happen to your brain in that situation? Your brain would shut down because the electricity would not be able to fly freely. So yeah, you'd be naturally lobotomized by the black hole as well. And even then, though, all of this stuff I'm saying right now wouldn't be able to happen because your body is going to be destroyed by the gravity before you ever make it to the event horizon. But if you could somehow survive to get inside of the event horizon, you might be like, well, at least I'll be able to check out what a singularity is like. No, you wouldn't, because your brain wouldn't be able to think anymore because of the way the electricity would flow, okay? So even if you came in here and somehow survived, you can't even enjoy it, okay? Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. Now, we've talked about a black hole, and you're probably thinking, everything we talked about today, that's super weird. That's super confusing. But we haven't even gotten to the weirdest and confusing stuff, the most confusing stuff yet. That's what we're going to talk about over the next 2 days, okay? What we're going to talk about over the next 2 days is what would actually happen to you if you fell into a black hole. And it turns out it's going to be even weirder than you know. Because it turns out that with this much gravity, this black hole is going to alter how we thought physics works, okay? This is going to be some crazy stuff that we're going to talk about. You're going to have to reevaluate how you understand reality in your everyday life in order to understand what happens to a person near this black hole. It's going to affect space. It's going to affect time. We're going to get to some crazy